question today. And just a minute, let me open the PowerPoint. Okay, so we will start our discussion from this question. So in this question, it is required to calculate closing stock from the given information. So we have the value of purchases, sales, opening stock, wages, carriage outward, rate of gross profit and cost. Okay, so from all of these information, we need to find out the closing stock. We have done a similar question earlier. So if you are able to recall the concept, then I think you will be able to do this as well. So do you remember how do we use to calculate closing stock?
Sir, with the formula of opening stock.
Yeah, with the formula of COGS.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you just give it a try? Then I'll do it. I want you to try it first, then I will calculate the closing stock.
Okay.
All right. And one more thing, today my camera is not working, so I won't be able to turn on my camera. There is some problem with my camera, so I have taken all my sessions without camera today. There is some problem with this camera. I will have to. I think I'll have to replace it. So you will have to manage the entire session without camera today.
Okay, sir, no problem.
So Steve, we are still doing single entry system, and I have given this question to calculate the closing stock. So from all of the information given in the question, you need to find out the closing stock. So I want you to try this first, then I will be explaining this if you are not able to solve it.
Okay.
This is the formula that you can use to calculate the closing stock. See,
Yes, sir.
as per this formula, we require the opening stock, purchases, and the direct expenses and the closing stock, so as to find out the cost of goods sold. Okay, so let's put the values that is already given in the question. So in the question, I think the value of the opening stock is already given. Value of the opening stock is 16,000. That is already given in the question, 16,000. Then you are provided with the value of the purchases as well. 93,000 is the value of purchase, that is given in the question, 93,000. Then after that, direct expenses are also given. So direct expenses include, in the question, we have direct expenses by the name of wages and carriage outwards. So both of these will be considered as a direct expense. Wages and carriage outward, both are direct expenses. So 20,000 plus 3,200. So it will be 23,200 This will be the direct expense. And then we need to find out the closing stock. So closing stock can only be determined if we have the value of the cost of goods sold. Somehow, if we found out the cost of goods sold, then by solving this equation, we will be able to find out the closing stock as well. Right? Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically we need to find out the cost of goods sold so as to find out the value of the closing stock. So for that purpose, we will be making an extra working note. So here I'm making the working note indicating the calculation of the cost of goods sold. So there is, if you remember, there is one more formula to calculate cost of goods sold. If you are able to recall, there is a formula basically wherein we find out the cost of goods sold by reducing the gross profit from the value of the sales. From the value of the net sales, if we reduce the gross profit, then we will be able to find out the cost of goods sold. Are you able to recall this? Net sales minus gross profit equals to cost of goods sold. Alexander and Steve.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, see, we are already provided with the value of sales in the question. Value of sales is already given. So sales is 1,20,000. 1,20,000 is the sales. Okay. So in the place of sales, we can write down 1,20,000. And from this, we will be reducing the gross profit. But gross profit is missing in the question. Gross profit is not given. Rather, there is an information instead of the gross profit. There is an information regarding gross profit which is given, which says that rate of gross profit is 25% on cost. Rate of gross profit is how much? It is 25% on cost. So what does it mean? Rate of profit, gross profit is 25% on cost. See, so that means gross profit is 25% of cost, means it is 25% of COGS. Cost means cost of goods sold. Alexander, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So is saying that gross profit is 25% of cost. But what do you mean by cost? Cost means cost of goods sold. Okay, so that means profit is 25% of COGS. Okay, but the thing is that we don't know the value of cost. So there is one option we have available, which is we can consider the value of the cost of goods sold as X. So if cost of goods sold is X, then gross profit will be 25% of X, right? We can write it this way also. Yes or no, Alexander? So
Yes,
X
sir.
equals to 120 minus 25% of X. All right. So if you will calculate 25% of X, you will get 0.25X. Okay. Now what we can do, we can simply carry this minus 0.25X to the left hand side. It will be X plus 0.25X equals to 1,20,000. Now we can calculate the value of the X by dividing 1,20,000 by 1.25. 1x plus 0.25x, it will be 1.25x, right? So I have taken this 1.225x to the right hand side and divided the 1,20,000 by 1.25. Is this clear to you, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means x equals to 1,20,000 divided by 1.25. It will be 96,000. So we got 96,000 as the value of x. That means COGS equals to 96,000. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Now we can put the value of cost of goods sold into the equation, and we will be able to find out the closing stock. So 96,000. Now you can calculate the value of the closing stock. Closing stock will be, how are we going to calculate it? We will be adding 16,000 plus 93,000 plus 23,200 minus 96,000. So it will be 36,200. 36,200 will be our closing stock. Is this clear to you, both of you, Alexander and Steve?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you the alternative way of finding out the gross profit. Instead of solving the gross profit like this, 25% of cost of goods sold. See, whenever it is given in the question that gross profit is certain percentage of cost of goods sold, that is, if it is given that cost of goods sold is gross profit is 25% of cost of goods sold, so it can be interpreted as 20% of sales as well. If profit is 25% of cost of goods sold, that means it is how much? It is 20% of sales as well. So either you can basically call it as our gross profit is 25% of cost, or you can also call it 20% on the sales value. Both have the same meaning. Is this clear to you?
Sir, how?
Okay, see. Oh, let's suppose x is, okay, just a minute. How do we actually calculate the value of the sales, Alexander? So it is very simple. Whatever the cost of goods is, we will add the gross profit into it, and after adding the gross profit, we will get the value of the sales, right? This is how we calculate sales. So I'm sorry. Yeah, we can write it this way also. So cost price plus the profit equals to sales price, right? We add
Yes, sir.
profit into cost, it will be equal to sales price. So let's suppose for the time being that cost of a particular good is rupees 100, and you are maintaining a profit margin of 25% on cost. That means if you will be selling this good, you will be charging 25 rupees as profit because your profit margin is 25%. That means your sales value is going to be 125 rupees, right? So if I ask you how much is the gross profit to the cost of goods sold, you will say, sir, gross profit is 25% of cost of goods sold, right? But can you also say, if I'll ask you what is the percentage of gross profit to the value of sales, if you will have to find out the gross profit to the value of sales, then how will you do that? So if I wanted to find out the percentage of profit, percentage of gross profit to the value of the sales, then I will simply divide the profit by the sales price. So it will be 25 divided by 125 into 100. So when you will calculate it, you will get 20%. Is this clear to you? So therefore, this is why we call that if gross profit is 25% of cost, that simply means it is 20% on sales value. Alexander, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so instead of calculating it like this, we could have done this as well. See, we can, if it is written that cost of, sorry, if it is written in the question that profit is 25% of cost, so we can simply calculate cost of goods sold by like this. Gross profit will be 20% on the net sales, so it will be 1,20,000 into 20%. How much it will be? 24,000, right? And if you will reduce 24,000 from 1,20,000, you will get 96,000 directly. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So this is the alternative uh, method of calculating the cost of goods sold. Okay, so I hope this question is clear to you, and we will move to the next question now. And this is your question. Okay, do this question, Alexander and Steve. In this question, we need to find out the value of the opening stock from all these information. We have sales, sales return, purchases, purchase return, carriage inward is given, and then we have closing stock, rate of gross profit as well. Just a minute. I think we have committed one mistake in the last question. I think we have taken the carriage outward as the direct expense, na? Alexander?
Yeah,
While
yes, sir.
calculating the COGS, have we included the carriage outward as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, carriage outward is not the direct expense. Sorry, carriage outward is it is a sales related expense. Na? Carriage outward is sales related expense. Therefore, it will be an indirect expense. So while calculating the COGS, you won't be adding the carriage outward. Got
Okay.
it? So you will have to correct the value of the closing stock as well, because if you will take the carriage outward as 3,200, the answer will be different, and without carriage outward, answer will be different. So you will be required to correct it. Okay. Please solve this question. Done, Alexander? Still solving it?
Yes, sir. Still solving.
Okay. You are having any problem? Why it is taking so long to calculate it?
Sir, I found the COGS. I'm just trying to find opening.
Okay. What is the value of COGS you have got?
1,46,428.57.
Wow. Okay. So I think it seems that there is some mistake in calculation of COGS. How did you calculate COGS? Can you just tell me the formula?
Sir, I used the same formula in the previous question.
Yeah.
Sale,
COGS
sale.
equals to sales minus gross profit. That is what you have applied now.
Yes, sir.
So how much is the gross profit this time?
40%.
40% off.
X.
No, gross profit this time is 40% on sales, not on cost.
Oh,
And sales is already given in the question, na?
yes, sir.
Yeah. And gross profit is always calculated at net sales value. This is how we will solve this question. Firstly, we will apply this formula. Cost of goods sold equals to opening stock plus net purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock. And then we will put all the values that is already given in the question. So COGS equals to opening stock plus net purchase is 1,20,000, then direct expenses 8,000 and minus the closing stock. Okay, then since the opening since the COGS is missing, so you won't be able to calculate the opening stock until and unless you found out the COGS. So in order to calculate the value of COGS, we have applied the different formula for COGS. COGS equals to net sales minus gross profit. But applying this formula, we will get the cost of goods sold as at 1,20,000. Right? So see, this time
So,
gross profit is 40% of sales. So that means 40% of sales will be 2 lakh, 40% of 2 lakh, that means it will be 80,000. So COGS will be 1,20,000, right, Alexander and Steve?
sir, this net sales was 2,05,000.
No, sales were 2 lakh, and then I think there was sales return as well, na?
Oh, okay. So we have to adjust it.
Yeah, that is what net sales is. That
Oh,
the sales without adjusting is gross sales, and
okay.
sales after adjusting the return is net sales.
Okay, sir.
Don Alexander.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the value of opening stock you've got?
One
I think it should be 28,000.
sir. 24.
Mhm.
24,000.
No, 28,000 is the answer. How much you are getting? Opening stock, you are getting 28,000, no?
Sir, I didn't adjust purchase.
Okay. So opening stock will be 24,000 only. Done? Any doubt?
No, sir.
No doubt. Okay, all right. So let's move to the next question. Okay. Now this is the full-fledged question of single entry. And in this question, we will be required to prepare the trading profit and loss account and the balance sheet. So prior to this, in this chapter, I think we haven't done any question where we were required to prepare the final account. But in this question, we are required to prepare the final account of this entity. So question says that Chakravarti does not maintain the proper books of account. Following are the information obtained from his book. So we have the information regarding the transactions that have taken place during the year 2018 in cash. So this statement is basically giving you the details about the cash transaction that have taken place in the entity. And other than this, this proprietor is providing us a little detail about the asset and liability that he holds at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. So at the beginning of the year, he have various assets like debtors, creditor, outstanding salaries, and the outstanding wages. And at the so in the question, we have the opening value of the asset and the closing value of the liability given. Then there are information regarding the cash transactions, and other than this, you can see at the end of this question, it is provided that closing stock of the entity is 20,000, and it is also it also says that no record of stock on 1st April is given. That means we have no information about the opening stock in this question. Okay, so closing stock is given, but opening stock is missing, and it is also given that gross profit is how much cost. It is 25% on cost. Okay, so profit is 25% on cost. That means gross profit is 25% on cost, or you can say 20% on the sales price. Tell me, Alexander, is the question clear to you?
Yes, sir.
What are we required to prepare in this? We are required to prepare the trading account and the profit and loss account. Okay, but
Okay.
and the balance sheet as well. But in order to prepare the trading account, you will be requiring the opening stock, right? And opening
Yes,
stock is missing in this question. So don't you think we will have to make a working note to find out the opening stock in this question?
yes, sir.
We will have to prepare a opening stock working note for preparation for finding out the opening stock. Okay, and then closing. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. So firstly, we will also be required to prepare a cash account. Since all cash transactions are given now. So from this information, we will be preparing a cash account. So just do one thing. First of all, just prepare the final account. Just make the format of the trading account, profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. Then we will start putting the items in the final account one by one, and then we will find out the remaining values. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just do it. And do you also know how to prepare the cash account, Alexander?
No, sir.
No. Okay, no problem. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now pay attention here. See, since there is no information about the capital in the question, there is no information regarding the opening and the closing capital in the question. So therefore, we will have to prepare the opening. The we will have to prepare two balance sheets, Alexander, like we used to do in the other question of the single entry. We will have to prepare the balance sheet for the year 2017 as well as for the year balance sheet for the year 2018 as well. But while preparing the balance sheet for the year 2017, you will have to write down the value of the cash as well. In the balance sheet of 2017, you will require the opening balance of cash. You will require the cash at the beginning, which is not given in the question. So in order to find out the cash at the beginning, we will be preparing a cash account. Just pay attention what I'm doing. Once we complete this question, you will be able to understand everything. So firstly, apart from preparing the final account, apart from preparing the profit and loss trading account and balance sheet, we will have to make a few working notes. So working note will be, first of all, we will be making a working note for the cash account. So see how cash account is prepared. Let me tell you. So first of all, we will be writing cash account and preparing two columns on each side. One for the receipt of cash will be shown on the debit side. And if we have made any payment, that will be shown on the credit side of the account. So this is the credit side, particular and amount. So this question is a little lengthy. It will take time. So, okay. So particular amount, particular and amount. So firstly, we will write, write down the, let's go to the question. Okay. Now see, what is written here? Receive from debtor 72,000, right? So what do you think? It is a inflow of cash or outflow of cash, Alexander? Receipt from debtor is an inflow or outflow of cash?
Inflow.
Inflow, correct. So all inflows of cash will be recorded on the debit side of the cash account. So receipt of cash from debtors on the debit side, 72,000. Okay, then always remember at the very top of the debit side, we write down the opening balance of the cash account. So to balance BD, this indicate the opening balance of the cash account. To balance BD will be written here. So we are preparing the cash account for which year? We are preparing it on 31st March 2018. 31st March 2018. So opening balance of cash account for the year 2018 indicate it is the closing balance of the 2017. Opening balance as on 1st April. This will be the opening balance as on 1st April 2017, right? So opening balance as on 2017 means it is the closing balance of the last year. That means 31st March 2017. Okay. Now let's move to the next item. Next we have paid to creditors, 56,000. So if we are making payment to creditors, this will be shown on the credit side, paid to creditors by payment to creditors. $56,000. Then the next item in the question is drawings of 5,000. Drawings made by proprietor. Drawings 5,000. After that, we have received from cash sales. So received from cash sales is 30,000 to sales cash 30,000. Okay, then after that we have life insurance premium 800. Life insurance premium paid 800 by life insurance premium 800. Okay, then staff salary 4,500. Staff salary 4,500 by salary 4,500. It is clear now, Alexander. All the payments are being shown on the credit side and all the inflows are will be shown on the debit side. Is this clear to you, or you are having any problem understanding this?
Clear, sir.
Then after that, we have wages 15,000 paid during the year and office expenses 2,000 by wages 15,000 by office expense. Office expense is an indirect expense. It will be shown in the profit and loss account as well while making the profit and loss account. Okay, and other than this, we have the rent 3,500 and cash. Closing balance of cash is 16,700. Rent 3,500 and by closing balance, by closing or by balance CD of the cash account is 16,700. Okay, now we can find out the value of the opening stock as a balancing figure. So just total it, total both the, first of all, total the credit side and reduce all the values on the debit side, and then you will be able to find out the opening value of the cash account. 56,000 plus 5,000 plus 800 plus 4,500 plus 15,000 plus 2,000 plus 3,500 plus 16,700. It will be 10,000. Sorry, 1,35,000. 1,35,000. From 1,35,000, we will be reducing 72,000 first, 72,000, then 30,000. So we will get 28,500 as the opening balance of the cash account. 28,500 as the opening balance. Now both the sides of the cash account will tally. Tell me, Alexander, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now let's prepare the balance sheet as well. Balance sheet for which year, sir? We will be preparing the balance sheet for at the end of the 2017. That means just a minute, let me write it this way. as on 31st March 2017. Okay. So all liabilities on the debit side, liability, and all the assets on this side. Okay, so in order to prepare the balance sheet for the year 2017, we will be considering which values. Okay, see. So firstly, you can see the assets and liabilities are given now. So asset as on 1st April 2017. Just a minute. So Alexander, you have noted it down, or you are still writing it?
Sir, I've noted it down.
Noted it down. Okay, so just a minute. What is the cash balance we have got? 60. Just a minute, let me check. I think we have committed some mistake while calculating the cash balance. In the answer, it is 1500 only. Tell me the total of the credit side of the cash account. You are getting 10,3500 now. 10,3500 is the total value on the credit side we have got. My answer is not telling 10,500. From 10,500, we have to reduce the debtors, which is 72,000 and 30,000 for sales. So the opening balance should be, opening balance should be 1500 only, na? Opening balance should be 1500 only. Okay, now let's prepare the balance sheet. So first of all, in the balance sheet, we will be writing the cash. Opening balance of cash in the year 2018 will be considered as the closing balance of the year 2017. So you will write down, in the year 2017, cash account will be 1500 in the balance sheet of 2017. Okay, it is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then after that, in the asset account, we will be writing the value of the debtors and stock as well. So could you just tell me the value of the debtor in what we should write in the balance sheet in the year 2017? In order to write down the value of the debtor, we will have to, I think, calculate the closing value of the debtor as on 2017. No, I think closing balance of the debtor is already given na in the question. Debtors are, how much the debtor was given in the question? Debtor was, I think,
24,000.
no, debtors at the, just a minute, let me check. Debtors are 24,000. This is as on 1st April 2017.
No, 56,000.
56,000.
Yeah.
Okay, but we will be in the opening, we are preparing the opening balance sheet na, for the year 2017. So we have to write down the opening balance of the debtor, which is 24,000. And yeah, so please write down debtors 24,000 on the asset side. Debtors
Sir,
24. Yes.
you wrote 31st March 2017, and the question is different.
Hmm.
It's 31st March 2018, and the beginning is 1st April.
Just debtors are on 1st April 2017. It is 24,000 na. Huh, so it is same thing na, Alexander. See, in the question, value of debtor as on 1st April 2017 is 24,000, right?
Yes.
So that means it is the closing balance of 2017 as well. Something which is opening of a particular year is the closing for the previous year. So if we are maintaining the balance sheet for as on 31st March 2017, so tell me the closing value of the debtor as on 31st March 2017. It will be 24,000. If opening value of the debtor as on 1st April 2017 is 24,000, that means same value will be the closing for the 2017 as well. You're getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So please write down debtors 24,000. After that, value of the stock is also given in the question. Na? Stock in the question, closing stock for the year 2018 is given, but closing stock for the year 2017 is not given. Okay. So for that purpose, I think we will have to prepare a working note and find out the opening stock as well. You're getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we need to find out the opening stock. Okay, Alexander, I think this question will take a lot of time now. So let's do one thing. Let's continue this question in the next class. Otherwise, it will take 15-20 minutes more to solve this question. So I'm ending this session, ending the account session at this point only. We will continue from this point onward in the next session, solving this entire question, because we need to do, we are still required to do a lot of things in this question. We are required to prepare the trading account, profit and loss account, and the new balance sheet as on 2018 as well. So it is going to take a lot of time. So let's for now let's just end this session. We will take a break of 5 minutes, then we will continue for the economics class. Okay, is this clear to you?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. So we will continue from this point onward in the next class. Okay, now I'm taking a break of 5 minutes, then we will continue. Okay, just one thing, Alexander, which topic we were doing in the economics? I think we were discussing about cost, and I think we already completed cost.
Yeah, but before that we were doing dispersion.
We were doing dispersion.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do one thing now. Let's start a new chapter in statistics. Let's skip dispersion for now, because in index number, I wanted to start an index number, because index number is a small chapter and we will be able to complete it, I think, within 2 or 3 classes max. Then once after completing the index number, then we will come back to the dispersion, and then we will finish it off.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yeah, but did you get my final exam date?
Yeah, I think Nishkosh have shared it with me. Let me check. Just a minute. I think your exams are starting in the month in the March, na?
Yeah.
And your economic exam is due on 10th of March, I think. Just a minute, let me check. So 5th of March is your exam for Arabic, English. Okay, economics is on 10th March 2022. All right. Yeah, we will be able to finish the syllabus prior to this. I think we will be able to finish our syllabus around 25th or 28th of Feb. I mean,
Okay.
I'll try to finish our syllabus before 25th, but maximum it may extend up to end of this month. So we will be able to complete your entire syllabus before the exams, obviously.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I'm taking a break now for 5 minutes, then we will come back and start a new chapter, which is index number.